For 3 years, Russia has relentlessly targeted Ukrainian energy infrastructure, a tactic designed to freeze the enemy into submission. Now, following that phone call between the American and Russian leaders, Moscow has agreed to suspend such attacks for a 30-day period. But ominously, President Putin, who was in a jovial mood immediately prior to his call with Donald Trump, has set a key condition. If Moscow is to sign up to a broader deal, Putin insisted, Ukraine must not receive any more foreign military assistance. That almost certainly is a non-starter for the Ukrainians, who are heavily reliant on Western weaponry and intelligence. President Zelensky was visiting the western Ukrainian city of Lviv this morning, knowing that the future of his country is being negotiated behind his back. He later made a plea, imploring Trump to be transparent. I hope to God, Zelensky said, that we know all the details and our partners talk to us. Because there are two sides in the war, Russia and Ukraine. Trying to negotiate without us will not be productive. On Air Force One this weekend, Donald Trump had teased a bigger, better prize.
We can bring that war to an end. Maybe we can, maybe we can't.
But even with today's much more limited Kremlin deal, he remains optimistic, writing, "My phone conversation today with President Putin of Russia was a very good and productive one. We agreed to an immediate ceasefire on all energy and infrastructure, with an understanding we will be working quickly to have a complete ceasefire and ultimately an end to this very horrible war between Russia and Ukraine." But the prospect of the conflict being settled still appears remote. None of the fundamental issues, whether over security guarantees, disputed territory, reparations, or even kidnapped children, none of them have been resolved. The question now is whether this limited ceasefire deal can be expanded, first into the Black Sea and then across the front lines. But what is abundantly clear is that Trump's promise to end this war on the first day of his presidency, well, that has collided with reality. Robert Moore, News at 10, Washington.
Well, James, our Europe editor, is here with me, as you can see. And coming to Robert's question there at the end of his report, this call was highly anticipated, but how significant do you think it actually is? Is it going to lead to further talks, to further prospects of a ceasefire?
Further talks may be, but I think, as Robert was suggesting, the end of the war is a long way off. One really important thing to remember here is that 7 days ago, when President Zelensky was strong-armed into agreeing to this ceasefire by the Americans, President Trump said after that if President Putin does not agree to the ceasefire, I will devastate the Russian economy, he said. Well, today, Putin didn't agree to his ceasefire. Let's be clear about that. He basically gave Trump the minimum that he could. His conditions, no further mobilization of Ukrainian forces, no rearmament, no intelligence sharing, obviously unacceptable to both Ukraine and to Europe, and frankly not even within Trump's gift, because Europe could continue arming Ukraine if the terms of such a ceasefire were unacceptable. President Putin has got a lot out of this in that he will now continue talking without Europe, without Ukraine at the table, as he did in this phone call. He spoke today in his statement about the special responsibility of Russia and the US for ensuring security and stability in the world. Security and stability, not words you really associate with Putin, and it puts him back exactly where he wants to be, behaving like one of two superpowers, carving up the world. The one good thing for Ukraine and the European point of view today is that there was no carve-up. The division of assets that Trump was talking about just yesterday, that at least didn't happen.
OK, James, thank you very much indeed.